Example 3, using the zero factor property. So we're asked to solve this quadratic equation, and yes, it is a quadratic equation because note, out of all the terms, the greatest degree is the squared term. However, this quadratic equation is not in standard form, and recall step 1 is to make sure that the equation is in standard form. So we need to rewrite it in standard forms. Recall standard form is everybody on the left side in terms of our terms and 0 on the right side. So the way I see it now, everybody is already over there except for 3. We just simply need to move 3 to the left side and we'll have it in standard form. So what would be our first step to doing that? Well, note that this is positive 3, so to get rid of that, we would have to do the opposite. So the opposite of positive 3 would be negative 3. So we need to subtract 3 from each side. And when we do that, then everyone will be on the left. You won't have any terms on the right. So since no one will be on the right, we write a 0 there. And now, voila, it is in standard form. Once you get the equation in standard form, recall your next step is to go ahead and factor it. Now, this particular quadratic equation, note that the coefficient in front of the squared term is not 1. So in cases where the number is greater than 1, recall you're going to have to use some type of method to factor. You can use trial and error, or you can use AC factor by grouping, or whatever method you choose, but the bottom line, you need to factor it. So we're going to go ahead and factor it. It factors into 3x minus 1 times 2x plus 3. The next step then, recall, is to take each parentheses and set them equal to 0 and solve for x. So we need to take 3x minus 1 and set it equal to 0. And then take 2x plus 3 and set it equal to 0 so that we can solve each one for x. So let's focus on one at a time, and focusing on the first one, to solve for x, the first thing I would need to do is to add 1 to each side. Next step to solving this equation for x is to do what? That's correct. Divide by 3 and x equals 1/3. Now let's focus on the right side. To solve this equation for x, what would I need to do? That's correct. Subtract 3 from each side. Then do what? That's correct. Divide by 2. And x equals negative 3/2. So our solution set is 1/3, comma, negative 3/2. Again, we have two solutions.
Okay, that's it for this lesson. Thank you for watching Math on PowerPoint Tutorials. If you liked this video and found it to be helpful in any way, please like it and subscribe to my channel.